Chippy, g'day. Stuart, hello. Heron, g'day. Russell, hello. Mark Osborne, g'day. Hey everyone. Don't know if we got go. I've just put this stupid camera mount back together. Apologies. I've just done a kind of a I think I've got it the wrong way round. Hang on. Let's try that. You're all upside down. That was a somersault. Yeah, we got it. We got it. Hello. Paul, good day. I saw your email. Put steps in progress to fix that. Sorry about that. Appreciate you getting in touch with me again. Box to send. I'll be on to it. Haven't forgotten. Just slack. Thanks, Paul. Bill, good day. Hello, Bill. Good day. Maddie's workshop. Good day. New video from Maddie this week. Yes, today I think. I haven't seen it yet. Few new videos actually. Some cool stuff. One from Maddie on the tool and cutter grinder. One from Craig on the new workshop. Check that out. Who else did I see a video from this week? Oh, one from Stephen Lang. I saw that. It was awesome. One from Rust Knox. Good video from Rust Knox too. So, yeah, good content out there. I'm just going to move this saw. Hang on, it's on the floor here. Still stepping over it, but we've got something in place to fix that. I've been working on that a bit. Further details as we go. Bill's got migraine. Sorry, Bill. Brian Morris, g'day. Tommy Gun Machining, hello. Sorry, Maddie. Yeah, I watched the video. Nice workshop, Craig. That looks awesome. Pretty excited about that. Here's a huge box from in Tom's shed that I think's been unpacked now. I guess he's got news. I'm not sure whether it's my job to share that. Go Create. Hi, Nigel. Good to see ya. John Creasy. Hello. New video from John Creasy this week. There we go. Newsflash. Big news. New video from John Creasy. In fact, a new video series from John Creasy. So go and check that out. If you haven't, check that out. Go do that. My back. Sorry, my internet just dropped out. I don't know why. It's done it a couple of times today. It's a bit strange. The water dragon's been called Harry. Fair enough. Am I back? I hope I'm back. Sorry about that. Russ Knox, g'day. Some awesome content from Russ Knox again this week, as always. Man makes amazing videos. Go check that out. You should be subscribed to all these people. Something wrong if you're not. Just standing there talking. I get nervous when you start. Yeah. Anyway. Cornwall's rainy. Awesome, Mike. G'day, Mike. Anyway. It's a nice day here. We've had a sunny day. We're actually in full masks and like travel advisory and everything because there's 4 cases of COVID in Queensland, so everyone's going spare about that. Don't imagine there'll be anything serious after about Friday, but at this point I've struggled through a day of mask wearing, which is really not my most amazing thing to do, honestly. Anyway, got there, got home. It's good to have it off. I think that's just a lag. I think it was me. Yeah, 9,000 a day is a bit rushed. We got four cases, and everyone's gone spare about it. We'll get there. We'll have it sorted pretty quick. I got new scissors. Here's this weird thing, right? These hang up on my board, right? Pegboard at the end of the bench. I probably have 6 pairs of scissors in this place. Can never, ever, 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 ever find one. So, bought a decent pair of scissors, hanging them up again. Yeah, there's a hook for them, but there's no other scissors on them, so I don't know where all the scissors are. I guess they're here somewhere. It's a mystery. Never ever find scissors. I have 2 tape measures. One of them's metric, and one of them's in inches, which was in a box from Keith Fenner a few years ago. Now, inches tape measure's no good to anyone. Honestly, that's like inches, like twice as big as your thumbnail. Is why measure things in a unit like that? I'm not sure, but anyway. I do have an inches tape measure. I can always find that one. To be honest, Craig, probably that's where they are if I have a look. That's a really smart idea. Maybe I could have a look and see, but that's probably where they are. Am I still here? Maddie's got a ghost at his workshop, probably. Yeah, excellent. I got a parcel. Now, this is a shout out to Man Cave, even though this didn't come from Man Cave, right? And he's not here on the channel, so there's nothing really to be gained by being nice to him. But if he posts something, it's here in 2 days, right? This come from Hot Rod Dude or Tyne Valley Metals on eBay, because he's the only guy who had it. And last Tuesday, I bought it. Pretty well straight after I decided that we had a problem. Right? Oh dear. And it turned up today. So, Man Cave's your guy. Check him out. Wish it was Durabar. Yeah, it's K1040, I think. So it's going to be fairly hard to machine, but I got it and it'll do the job. Hopefully we'll get one of these out of it without too many problems. It's about the right size. So, pity about the bit of cast iron, but we've got to make another one of these. So that's what that's for. So you only had 50 millimeters. There's no point getting the guy to cut different sizes because he doesn't even answer emails, let alone cut anything. So we'll see how we go with that. Oh, hey Kevin, hey Brendan. Had to print one of these. This is a GoPro arm before live stream today because this one got stepped on or something and broke. So not happy with that. Picked it up in time, took 27 minutes to print a new one. So we've got the GoPro arm back on the tablet for live stream. So just as well. But I'll toss this one out, just thought I'd show you. That's another job done. No, it doesn't solve it well. It's not worth fixing. It's a good way to drop a tablet in the workshop. So easy just to print another one. Job's done. K1040 machines beautifully. I hope it does. My little lathe's going to struggle a bit with this. My little lathe's struggling with one of these. I'm turning one of these into one of them. Right? It's down to size. However, we're having issues with inserts. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Okay, I dropped out again. I'm sorry. Okay, I dropped out again. I'm sorry. That's me. Apologise for that. Don't know why. I hope I'm for that. Don't know why. I hope I'm back. Oh, it's unusual that it does that, but it did it this time. Back. Oh, it's unusual that it does that, but it did it this time. Anyway, we have inserts. I'm losing corners on these, and they're just losing their edge. Really not good enough, and I don't know why. These are Chinese, but it shouldn't go through that many inserts, both corners, cutting that from there to there. So that's a bit of a problem. I need to do something about tool holding and about carbide tooling, because this is soul destroying. I've got a couple of boxes of them, but there's sort of, we're using a lot of these, so I'm doing something wrong. I think probably that the inserts I've got are just crap, to be honest. Are we back? No? No, 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 no. We're back. We're still there. No. Who knows? Technology is getting to us. That's right, Maddie. Craig's back. Anyway, don't know what to do about that. Right? It should be... Don't know what this steel is, but it's machining okay. I'd say it's 1020 or 1040, right? it's machining nicely with a sharp insert, but I can't take much off at a time because of the horsepower rating on the lathe and that diameter, I guess. And it's doing 3 or 4 cuts and then just rubbing, so not happy with that. Put some of these collets away, guys. What RPM? Yeah, variable. I'm back down to about half speed on the lathe, which is about 900 or 1,000, something like that. 900 RPM, because I've got a little bit more horsepower there. But it squeals a bit going any faster than that, and any slower than that was just, yeah. High-speed steel is probably the answer, and honestly, I just need to get some high-speed steel sharpened up and get into it. Willem's got the same problem as I had last year when I bought 4 or 5 boxes of carbide, and none of it's any good. And the trouble is with it, right? The issue with this, and I think that the issue with these inserts is that they're all 0.2 radius instead of 0.4. So therefore, they chip too easily and they just lose their corners. I think that's the problem with these inserts. And the trouble is with Chinese inserts is that they're not labelled, and you haven't got a clue what you're getting until you get them here. And I even got one box that's a completely different size, and they look the same, and they were listed the same, but the seller didn't have a clue what was different about them, and couldn't see that there was a problem, because the picture looks the same. They're gold small triangles and they've got a number on them, but there's no number on the box. So the issue is that no one really knows what they're buying or what they need. So I think probably they're just too small on the radius. Seriously, guys? Sorry. I really apologize for that. Anyway, yeah, they're too small as diameter, and you really don't know what you're getting until they come. So I'm a bit over that. This steel, I should be able to run, like even with the old motor on, I should be able. Come on. Sorry. Hope this doesn't happen very often now. But yeah, we got lockdown, so everyone's using the jolly internet. That's where we're at with it. Yeah, I should be able to turn that down with one insert, no worries at all. Anyway, that's where we're at with that. I spent most of yesterday afternoon chiseling that down. The other piece is still in the lathe. Sorry, guys. I think everyone's sort of using the internet here, and it's overloaded a bit. Anyway, on to that. What's next? Stewart 400. Can hear a pin drop. Actually ordered the pieces of laser cut acrylic to go underneath to jack it up so we can fit this carby on, so that the belt doesn't touch on the pump housing. So that's something I have done. that was this week's major improvement. Craig's right. Banggood inserts are like a box of chocolates. That's right. They're a bit of a pain. And Chirpy's right too. Be careful of stellite and casting it. That's a bit nasty, that stuff. Like the old stellite valves used to be like a bit scary actually. You'd be a bit careful of that. Like engine valves used to be stellite. Anyway, I've got heaps of high-speed steel and I've got heaps of carbide, so solid carbide, and I've got tool holders. So all I need really to do is to dress something up and use it, and I'm probably going to do that when I run out of inserts. Anyway, we're getting close. And these Banggood inserts work fine in my boring bar, but they don't seem to like my right angle tool holder, so I'm not sure why that is. Cannon Metal's nice one, but I can't afford brand name stuff. I probably should be able to, but finding a supplier is a bit tricky. Someone will sell me 10 inserts when I've got some money. So that's where we're at with the Carby. Right? We've decided to jack the engine up 10 millimeters, which will make all the difference to the way that fits, the way everything fits. That's work in progress. I've ordered the bits of acrylic and we'll do that and put that together. Come on. Sorry, guys. So this is a tool holder, right? I've had pretty good results with this in the past. The last couple of boxes of inserts are really not good with this, so I'm not sure what to do about that. See, that one's, if we have a look, that one's sort of not looking all that wonderful either. So honestly, not going to persevere with that or not. I think I'm back anyway. So that's where we're at with that. I've got all these bits here. Check out all these bits. Try and keep an eye on the screen and stop talking when we cut out, just to stop the frustration a little bit. Sorry if it happens again. This fits together, right? How awesome is this, right? Sort of. It's a work in progress still, but it fits together. I don't know if you're sick of hearing about this, but these tab holes all fit nicely in the slots. That one should be in the slot. I'm not sure why it's not. It's back in here. Anyway, these two tabs fit together, which hold this together. These tabs here fit, these tabs here fit. This fits together nicely here. This fits here nicely. Oh, as nice as it's going to. Russell, no, I doubt it. That's really not a thing here. It's only a thing if you want to believe the press and Murdoch, etc., etc., etc. We're sort of yeah. I'm not convinced that it's probably not something we want, but also in the long run, selling stuff to China is not really a particularly good thing for the country either. So we'll see about that. I've got some really nice high-speed steel holders. Stefan sent me a couple, and I've been using those a bit. So I probably just need to actually knuckle down and set them up. And I've got some good cemented carbide too, which I probably should just get in and use for this job when I'm roughing down. Anyway, so that's where we're at with that. We've got the seat in. We've got the panel cut for the seat or made up for the seat. We've got some mods, and people have asked about these modifications a bit. So we'll just, if you've got patience, we'll go over that if this doesn't cut out again. First one's the front axle. I've made a little cutout with a V in the front axle. Come on, seriously, focus. Here. Right, and they're going to be bent up at right angles just to sit the axle in place so that I can solder it there and there rather than put an ugly big seam on there like I did with this one, which isn't really good. I put a seam here and here, and that's not really as nice as I would like. So going to bend up a little tab in here with a V in it and sit this in it and just weld the tabs. It'll be heaps strong enough. So that's the modification for the front axle. These are the three bits of panel that we've just started messing around with. This is different because we're going to put a bit more of a tab on here, and I think just a tab on here, probably this would be nice with a press flange all the way around it. Not sure about that yet. We'll see how that looks. You might cut one out and try that, or make a pattern or to press it, a wooden die to press them up, maybe. We'll see how we go with that. But these two are just flat front and back. There's mods on this, and they're not all on here yet. Alright, got some cutouts here for the bolts. Basically so that the motor bolts here, rather than put countersinks in them or mess around doing anything else, they actually clear the body when you pull it in and out. So there's that one. There's another cutout in the front here for a wire. We'll talk about that maybe at some point when I've got some more stuff worked out. And this has gone back to 5mm, which should be plenty, and saves a bit of material and a bit of messing around. There's some other cutouts on here that I've done over the last day or so. But apart from that, that's pretty straightforward. These I got sorted, so all the tabs are in the right place. These just need to be cut, so we're pretty happy with that. So anyway, that's the racer body starting to look half decent. Pretty pleased about that. This is too short in the front here. These ones I cut. They really need a longer tab in here. Got extra 2mm in there to fold over, and while they're flat, we'll just fold all that over nicely in the press, and then we can bend them round. This is quite springy. You can bring this around so that it's sort of, you can bend it over a bit, but you've got to be a bit careful because you end up kinking the back as well. So that's not really ideal. So the best way probably is to put a couple of spot welds on this, 3 places, and then just soft solder them, and that saves the setup work and the hold down work and the clamp work. See, because if you put that on there and then hold it and clamp that down, yeah, it sort of works. But you've still got to hold this and then silver solder it and then put a clamp on it. But you can't put a clamp on here because it's all tapered in each direction. So it just falls off again. So you could make something with a clamp that goes down with some sort of a retainer. But that's a lot of messing around. So if I just spot weld this here and here and here, what we're probably going to find is that we can just sit them up there and then soft solder them quick and easy, and put them aside and not have to worry too much about them cooling before we take them off the block and having them move and all those sort of things. So that's the thoughts behind that. Have I ordered a spot welder? Maybe. No, I haven't, but I've got some options. And probably I'm going to save up and buy a decent one. I've got a friend who's offered to lend me one to do prototypes. But I'm probably going to buy a half decent spot welder, I think. Because something I would like and something I'd use a lot. So there you go. So that's where we're at. This motor, right? These are sort of prototypes. And I meant to have this bolted all up and I forgot all about it. I've got a motor that sort of works. It's got a ratchet in the back there, which is basically just a... Oh, I got this one here is sort of right, yeah. Like this. This spring is a little bit light. It's the right size spring and everything. It could do be between 10 millimeters wide instead of 7. So that's sort of what we got. And they come with a wire around them, so they're easy to put together. This has got a D-shaped opening in one end, and the rod will have a D ground on the end of it, just in the D bit grinder to fit through there. That pushes through and then locates on the D, I hope, and that should be nice and solid. That's the thoughts behind that. That's how I put this one together. And the D running in the hole's not going to worry it. Another plate, that's not going to be a huge deal. So 2 plates like that. This one has some tabs on it. This one will have tabs too. But we're going to bend these over, this one and this one, nicely. I think that's probably the best way to do it. And then use that to bolt this into the plate like so. So basically that'll sit up underneath with those tabs there, and we put 4 screws in. That's the theory with that. This one bends over as a spring guard to stop the spring coming out the back. So that'll be, a flat plate will be bent over there too, so that this guards the spring. That's the motor. It's fairly simple. This is the back axle and this is the winding key, and there's another shaft in between, and there'll probably be some sort of a retainer or such, probably just a piece with a tube in the center, same as these, and a 3mm rod through it to hold the eye end of the spring. So this I'm pretty happy with. I think it's going to be fine. I've got to source a wider spring. the ratchet system and everything looks good. Even to use 3D printed gears, I don't think that would be an issue. I think they'll stand up pretty nice and they'll be awesome. We could print them in PWK or in nylon or something like that if we needed to, but honestly, I'm not sure. But for production, I would like these in some sort of metal, so I'm still thinking about that. Making 100 of these wheels and 100 pinions, 150 pinions is a pretty big job. And I wouldn't wish that on anyone at the price I'm going to pay. So thinking about that, giving it some thought. Probably they're going to come from China, as much as I hate to say that. We'll see how we go with that. Wheels, not going to look anything like this. Yeah, they are. This is sort of finished, almost finished 3D printed prototype. I've been messing around and we're making dies actually to see if we can press these out of steel, because the aluminium ones are a bit soft, to be honest. Even with the bend in them like that, you know, they do bend. You can bend them pretty easy, and they don't have to hit a guard or anything too hard, or hit a rock or a gut or something too hard to eventually give them a ding or scratch. So these might be better made out of steel, and if they are, we'll probably ditch the outside rivets completely. So we'll see how we go with that. So as a upshot and so forth of that, I have just about all the pieces ready to cut another template set and see what happens. We've got the motor ready to cut pretty much. I've got this piece ready to cut so it works. I've got all these panels ready to cut. I'm pretty much ready to hopefully cut all the bits and assemble one so that I've got a car sitting here. There we go. The bead rollers in Brisbane, I got a scan on the stupid freight company, sort of only about the first or second one. It says audit scan in Brisbane, so they obviously are standing there with it in his hand, and it's actually registering at my address, I hope. But I don't know where it is. It's a bit strange. Maybe it'll be tomorrow. Maybe I've got to make a phone call about it. I'm not sure. Sorry about the internet, John. That's pretty terrible. That's a bit strange. So, internet gears Meccano gears are okay, but they're not really what I want. And for two, they're kind of crazy expensive. So, I'm sort of thinking that this gear, and this gear, which doesn't look anything like that now, I've got halfway through it, this gear, probably if I get the three of them made in China, even if they cost me $10 for the lot, it's pretty cheap. But I don't think you could ask anyone to make something like that for less than, in Australia, for less than probably 30 or 40 bucks to be any good. And if I made them, it'd be sort of a labour of love, and I wouldn't sort of be charging for labour, but there's a lot of work in those, and there's a lot of them. Are you getting some buffering, John? Sorry. It would. I don't know if anyone's priced a roll of BWK recently, Craig. Don't do that. You'll feel much better if you don't. And also need some crazy high temperatures to print. So not going to happen. I think my printer would nearly handle it with an enclosure. However, I'm not going to buy a roll to find out. Paddy says, "What about clock gears?" I'll chat. I'll talk a little bit slower, John. Sorry. Um, yeah, maybe. But there are companies, the same companies that make clock gears or replica Meccano gears or whatever in China would probably be capable of just turning out a batch of these and these and these very simply, very quickly. So talk to someone about it. That's kind of what's holding us up at the moment is the gears. That's the one sort of the unknown variable. We'll see how we go. Anyway, apart from that, it's all good. They're usually module. Yeah, this is module. These are 0.8. And I've used 0.8 because I actually got a cutter if I wanted to cut some brass ones. So, but it looks about right. Tommy says $1 per gram. Yeah, that's about right for that. Not going to happen. So that's the rundown on the car. I think I've made some progress. I have a website that's sort of starting to look like it's about to go live at some point. I've got a prototype on thumb drive that needs to be sent to the laser cutter to get a set of templates. I'm going to leave it another week just to make sure that the refinements on this are... There's nothing else that it really needs. I'm nervous about getting it sent and then discovering that there's something else that could change. So I'm going to leave it for another week of messing around with the drawings to see. Heron, I've already sort of thought about that. I think originally they would have been cast zinc with, or like zinc pieces probably cast into a brass wheel. So this one here, for instance, I believe was probably a cast zinc or monel or some sort of alloy with the like a pressed wheel on the outside. So pretty junky. Pretty junky. To be honest, this is probably just as good, and this is just PLA, and it's probably plenty good. Take care, Kevin. Good to see you. This here is strong and good and durable. It's got a 01 axle, and it's probably good. The aesthetics of it are less good, right? I don't think that this would fail, to be honest, right? I think this is probably will stand anything that Spring will give it. However, the aesthetics of it is awful, and you can see them. So at this point, I'm looking for other options. Otherwise, this design, I feel, and basically the look of it and the quality of the gear is probably plenty good enough for this car. And I can print probably 15 of these in a night when I'm asleep, so, and 15 during the day. So they wouldn't take a lot to get them all printed. Probably more than that. I'd probably print 40 of them in a night. Paddy, yeah, I could change the colour up. That's something I could certainly do. I could print them dark brown or in a silver or in a black even, and they'd probably be all right. But they're plastic gears, and aesthetically they look crap. But honestly, this is, look, I don't think that'll ever let go. And worst case scenario, we could make a brass center and put this gear on it or something like that, or put a square center in it and make a brass bush with a square or something like that. But looking at this, I wind this the right way. That plastic dog and everything in there to wind that up tight, that's probably plenty good enough. Seriously, I've seen 1950s German alarm clocks with worse systems in that, and certainly Japanese and Chinese stuff from modern day that's worse than this by a long shot with bigger springs. And that's the other thing. Heron's right. It decomposes a bit in the sun. So sitting on a sunny shelf, I would rather not have these in here. I mean, they're probably not going to get exposed, but I honestly think that we could do better than this. So I'm looking around. Bakelite or phenolics not the answer. I think the answer is probably a combination of 3D printed parts and a pressed or stamped brass gear if we can get them. That's probably where we're going to be with it. That's what I think is probably the answer. Is some sort of a pressed gear or a stamped gear, which should be available, and they're all the same pitch and size and number of teeth. So that's probably an option, and probably plastic centers and plastic pinions. And I think to do that would definitely make it look pretty tidy. I think that's where I'm at. I think that we can do these in a 3D printed plastic, even in a nylon. That's much better than the old die cast crap or the stand cast, or I guess mold cast crap that they would have been originally, and they don't seem to see any with stripped gears. So that's where I'm at. Anyway, take care, Bill. Good to see you. Hope you get better and feel better tomorrow. Have another drink. So anyway, still open for that. Anyone's got any ideas? I reckon I can get these gears, or these wheels, the big ones, which are 30/60.8 module. They only need to be 1mm thick, something like that. I reckon I could get them in punch brass, pressed out, stamped out for next to nothing, and they're all exactly the same gear. So it's got to be something we can do with that. This one has probably just something like that in the back of it. It's probably all it needs. And it's got a ratchet pawl. This is a plastic one, but it'll be a brass one, right, with a bit of a bend in it that way. And it'll have a bent over leg on the corner that locates in a hole to stop it swiveling. And probably a pop rivet or some sort of a fastener in that. And that'll go on these two holes here, like so, right, and sticks out a bit with a bit of spring in it, and that's got a wedge on it, so that works on the back here for basically for a click. That's probably the smart way to do that, rather than put a proper ratchet that's going to slip and carry on. At least this can't be put out of gear, nothing caught in it. Anything caught in the back of it's probably going to stick it on further rather than release it. And that's a good solid strong pawl in brass sheet on the back of that, rather than have something that just works on a little thin gear that's going to push sideways or come off or something like that. So these will be laser cut brass with a bend in them, and just riveted onto the side frame, which will be 1mm steel, and we can bend that out to match and just make that so it clicks. So that's the design here, if anyone was wondering. So that's a much smarter idea than, I guess, than having a ratchet wheel and an arbor, or a pawl, like a little shaped pawl with a spring, because that's a fool of a system, because you only got to wind it and this goes sideways a bit, it gets a bit worn and that clicks off the side, and then everything goes sprawling and you've got bits everywhere. So this can be easily made out of a piece of brass, like you just laser cut it and put two bends in it, and it should have enough tension in there to hold it, if you use a decent bit of brass. And it's easy to fasten in place there so that it doesn't move or become like swivel this way. And all it needs is one fastener, so a pop rivet or something like that, and that'll hold it nice and firm and secure, and that's on there, and it's on there good. It's very easy to adjust, so you can give that a bit of a bend if it's not meshing properly, and that should click nicely on that, and that's all we need on that. So even on a 3D printed piece here, I don't think that'll ever really, it won't ever give up. Like, it'll click past, click, 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 and it'll be nice and solid and firm and positive connection, which is what spring loaded, like clock springs like this, need positive ratchet systems. Probably not. Not sure if that's the final outcome on this, right? If we got these wheels um, punched out, we would get these slots punched in all of them, right? Even this one, and have the same connection system on the middle of them for both of them. And that way, it doesn't really matter that this has got slots in it. It's not important, but you only need one press for both of them. So that's where I'm at with that. And brass on brass or whatever, it's going to be all right. It's going to be good. To be honest, that's pretty solid little print. So I don't think that a brass lever pushing against this here on the edge, I really don't think that that would ever let go. It'll wear it a bit as it clicks past, but I don't think that it will ever physically let go. Anyway, that's where we're at. Is everyone sick of that yet? Yeah, probably. Sorry, guys. I get onto this and I don't seem to get off, so I really apologise for that. But there we go. And zinc die casting is probably not a big deal to make a mold for a zinc die cast, but internal, it's got to be in 2 or 3 bits. It's probably mold's doable, but it's time and expense. Anyway, that's about what they would have been. I think they were probably 3% lead and 97% lead, 97% lead and 3% tin or something like that was probably the alloy that they were made out of. I doubt whether it was zinc. It might be. Really can't make lead gears in this. Don't know yet. Anyone's got any ideas, throw them up. Throw them up. Really appreciate that. Anyway, what else? What else is happening? The insert enigma, the insert problem goes on. What else did I show you? Bead roller. Bead roller's on its way, but it's got scanned in Brisbane today. I'm not sure why. It should be here at some point. I wouldn't be surprised if it's here tomorrow. It might scan in Shenzhen or in Port Melbourne or Darwin or somewhere next Friday week. I've got no idea where that is, so hopefully it's here soon. How's the saw going? The saw's amazing. I've got a job for it this weekend. When I finish roughing down that block of steel, I'm going to chop that into 2 bits to make this piece and this piece, which are the dies for the wheels. Like so. I've already got this piece made, which clamps this wheel together on that to stop the middle bending. So this will clamp that together with a bolt. This will have a thread in it, be steel, and there'll be a bolt clamps this down to stop something's got a rock in there. I'm not sure why that is. This bolts down nice and tight there. The rocks on here, whatever that is. Could be the 3D print that's rocking. No, don't know. Anyway, that bolts onto there. And when that's nice and secure, then this one comes over the top of it. That won't fit because it's not quite the same. The new one will be sliding fit. Presses down, press that together to bend the lip. And that way we should have a nice flat centre. So that's what we're working on. But this is all in one bit, and we're going to slice it off with the saw and put some features on it. Hey JB, good to see ya. Hope you're doing all right. Thinking of you over there. So, there we go. That's where I'm up to. And there's also a crap load of design work and CAD work gone into this again, and a lot of hours spent in front of the computer to actually get all these bits developed properly and modified and changed. I've done these in cardboard. Hopefully that's a good enough sort of a trial to make it work. You see the changes here. Right, we've got another 5mm, 4mm or something on the bottom here for bend flange. These are in different spots. This is pretty much the same around here. So this one here is right. Yeah, and these, so this one's probably not far out either, but we have moved this one. Is that right? Yeah, so these ones line up nicely, but the middle one doesn't. So that's where we're at with that. And these, of course, line up absolutely nowhere near. So sorry to hear that, JB. Thanks for letting us know. Hope you're doing all right. If there's anything we can do, let us know. Like, absolutely. Thinking of you over there. So, hey, Tib, anyway. But yeah, that's cardboard-aided design just to make sure everything works together and everything sort of features all assemble. This thing snowballs, right? Production cost snowballs, and I've got a bit of a spreadsheet of it. And I'm trying to keep it in check, and saving $1 on this or $1 on this makes a huge difference. So, and the more I spend on it, and the more I put into the prototype, and the more I put into each and every one, the more I've got to charge or price point them at to make this work. And that's a bit scary. I'm trying not to make it lift too far. So some parts, unfortunately, I think are going to have to come from China. As much as I hate to say that, or from India or somewhere. Because honestly, Australians just don't have the machinery to put this together in a small production run and actually do it as a favor and make it work. Modern prototyping and production machinery is good for small batch stuff, like laser cutting and 3D printing is fantastic for doing small batches. But things like die stamping and lost wax casting and so forth and so on, they add up pretty quick. So, not sure what to do. There's two options. I can make them from the technology I've got here and deal with that, or I could get them made properly using someone else's technology from someone who doesn't mind doing a small run. That's unfortunately how it is. It does, Paul. It works for them, but unfortunately, we're sort of at that point already, and we can't go too much further. It's hopefully when we get all this prototype together and get some decent quotes and say this is what we need, how much is it going to cost, that the price will be lower than I expect it's going to be. Powder press gears are probably a good idea. Thanks, Paddy. Yes. Anyway. Not much else to say. Haven't had dinner. Only just got home. Took my mask off. Sat down and printed a new piece for the camera arm because it's broken, and posted a thumbnail up, and that's kind of all that's happened tonight. It's been one of those weekends and there's not a lot of machining or fitting or anything done. Turret punching might be cheaper, yes. So we could get a cheap electric press and punch them, yes. Hi, Malcolm. And probably we could get some wire cut dies for gears. I mean, that's probably not as silly as stupid as it sounds either. We could get some EDM cut gears at a price, or some EDM cut dies to punch them out. There's a bit in that too, and then you've got to have 3 prototypes before you get one that actually works, and you've got to have someone who knows a little bit about using the machine so that they've got some experience to actually produce something that's going to release and it's not going to jam up, and you're not going to have to bend all the bits, tapping them out tight and stuff like that. Anyway, that's all stuff I talk about this for hours, and I do apologize for that. Anyway, also sorry about the internet cutting in and out before. It's not good, and I'm sorry about that. I'm only getting half the comments here, sorry. I'm not sure why that is. I missed. And it did it again, I'm sorry. And it did it again, I'm sorry. Anyway, probably going to call this a night, guys. Take care. Thanks everyone for being patient with me. Patient with the 400. I really appreciate that. I know it's been months since I posted any updates, so I've not really done anything. But there has been some work done on it, and some of it was a complete waste of time. But there's not a week goes by usually that I haven't sort of done some work on it. So hopefully we can get that going at some point. So anyway, this is all go, and the mill raising lower thing is all go because I really need to fix that. And hopefully we'll be onto some other things as well. I really want to get the Stuart Turner going so that I can do some other projects that have been sitting here forever and make some progress on them. So anyway, take care. Awesome guys to catch up with you all. You take care. Be kind to each other. Thinking of you, JB. Anyone else who's struggling a bit, thinking of you too. Get in touch if you need to talk. Jump on Discord because they're a crazy bunch, but there's some pretty cool content in there, and there's some pretty cool conversations. If you're looking for someone to talk to, Discord's the way. It's awesome, and you can chat voice on there if you want to call anyone or talk to anyone. That's awesome too, and it's a pretty good, reliable service at this point. So that's cool. And apart from that, I did see your email, Paul. I'm sorting that. And anyone else who's been in touch, really appreciate it. So take care at the hospital, Russ Knox. It's good to see you here, and we really do miss you and really appreciate your video content. It's always excellent. And anyway, I'm out. Take care. That's enough. Be kind to each other, especially to me. And we'll catch you next week, eh?